Hello, my dear students. How are you doing? I hope you are good and you are fine. So, today we are going to have Unit 2. We'll start with our first lesson, which is early villages. So, to have this lesson, we will study or learn about early people, and we will go like in a journey back in time to know about the first man or the early people and their life. So, basically, you know that all human beings need food, water, air, and place to live in, and warmth to stay alive. For first man, as you can see, start collecting the food that eat from the nature around. So they start moving from one place to another place looking for food and for the water to drink. As they are moving from one place to another, they did not stay in one place and they didn't used to have homes or have houses to live in. So they live in tents like this made from the animal's skin. As the human beings were hunting all the time, killing the animals for their meat to eat and for their skin to make clothes that they wear. As you see, here you can see an animal killed for its skin or for its meat, and you can see the place where they used to live in. So, the beginning of the human or the early people in that time was mainly depending on hunting animals and collecting and gathering fruits for food. So here you can see the fruit that they were collecting for their food. And by the way, these fruits are wild fruit. This is not the fruit that uh, maybe it's not eatable now, but in that time the wild fruit was part of their meals. So they gathering the fruits, the wild fruits, and they hunt animals for their meat and for their skin. They use the skin for building their houses, tents like this, so they can move it from one place to another. As they are moving from places to another places, looking for food, they can easily remove these tents and build it in the places that they go to. So, as time passes, these humans developed themselves to have a new lifestyle. They stopped killing animals randomly, they stopped hunting, and they stopped gathering the plants and the crops. They turned into farmers. Instead, they are hunters and gatherers. They turned into farmers and they start farming and growing plants, raising animals, taking care of plants. As you can see here, they are living in farms. These are their houses. In the middle of the farm, they are growing plants and they are raising uh, animal farms like cows for their milk or hens for their chicken, and they are watching their plants as they are growing. They looking after their animals, and this was the beginning of the farming. This happened the beginning of the farming 11,000 years ago. So they start farming 11,000 years ago. They took care of animals, they raise them, and they plant crops to eat. So they live in farms. They start building small houses in the farms to live in, as you can see here. And this place, as you can see, looks like a village where you can see small houses, group of small houses and farms. Okay, so this was the beginning of having villages in the life. The first man or the early people started building villages as they started farming 11,000 years ago. When early people started farming, they discovered that they needed a good place to settle in, to build their houses and to live. So they had to choose a suitable place in which or where they can build their houses and they can build their farms. So for a place to be good for farms and houses, it had to be near a water body. As you can see here, they built their houses near a river, and the farm as well is near a river, so they can take or they could use the water from the water body from this river for drinking, for watering the plants, for watering the animals, and also they use this water for washing and cooking. So that the place had to be near a water body, and if they are building or they were building their farms in a desert, for example, a farm should be near an oasis, because an oasis is the only place in the desert where water is found. So this is the first thing about a place to be good for building a village or building a farm. The second thing is that the place had to be good for planting, which means the place had to have a good soil, because as you know, plants need a good soil to grow. Here you can see many plants were grown in this farm. That means this farm had a good soil. Okay. Another thing for places to be good for farms and for building villages was that a place had to be safe, so enemies cannot reach it easily, and the farmers and the early people could defend themselves against the enemies. So they built their villages near a hill. So a hill or a mountain in which they can uh, hide from the enemies, and they could also make like a sharp tools for killing and for killing wild animals and for defending themselves and defending their animals as well. These tools are made from rocks that is took from the mountain. And as you see here, houses are built near a mountain or near a hill. You see, this is a house. So the conditions for a good place where farms and villages built were a place in which water is found, or where water were found, and the place needed to have a good soil, and it should be safe. So in early life there were many types of villages. Not only farmers had their own villages, as you know that farmers built their villages near their farms. So the first type was farming villages. This one we had just talked about. So let's move to the second type, which is fishing villages. Okay, so here you can see a fishing village. It's obvious that it's in the middle or close to a river, and you can see here some people are fishing. Okay, so these might be fishermen, and this place or this type of village had to be near a sheltered harbors. A sheltered harbors is a place where ships and boats settle so that they can collect the fish that they fish and move it to another place so they can buy it there or give it to other people. So the place to be good for a fishing village had to be near a sheltered harbors. Sheltered harbors is a place where ships and boats settle, and these ships and boats used in moving the fish from place to another place. Okay, and the third type of villages is mining village. Mining, as you know, to dig deep inside or in the ground in order to collect uh, valuable materials just like gold, like iron ore, or like coal. So here you can see these villagers are working in mines. So this type of village is called mining village. Okay, mining village. So the three types of villages are farming village, which are near farms, fishing villages, where are close to sheltered harbors, and the third type is mining village, in the place where valuable materials are found. By the time these villages developed and they changed, they grew bigger, so they produced a huge amount of food and fruit, more than what they need. So they start buying in in shops and markets for other people. And also farmers give up farming and they start doing other types of jobs. They start, for example, trading, buying and selling things. And here you can see even the roads, the houses, everything changed and everything developed. So this is how villages developed through time, starting from farming village to other type of villages like fishing village, mining village. They grew bigger and they became the villages that we see right now. That's all for today. I wish you enjoyed this lesson and thank you. Goodbye.